When I first saw the first speech for this level 3 pathway, I was stumped completely. I walk with my daughter every morning and we talk about various things, and I always tell her about speeches I'm giving or supposed to give. And I said to her, I need to do a speech on my sense of humor. She said to me, well, you need a stand-up routine for that. That was not exactly helpful because that just cemented why I was stumped. I had no idea what I was going to say. In the meantime, I've done 3 elective projects in this particular level. I still had not done the first speech, which is to talk about my sense of humor. I did what I usually do when I'm completely at an impasse. I quit. I said, you might remember, I officially broke up with Pathways a couple of weeks ago. And the next morning I told my daughter that I had broken up with Pathways, and incredulously, she said to me, why did you do that? Well, because I don't know what to say. She said, you laugh at a lot of things because you don't take life very seriously. Well, that is true. I think what's more true is I laugh at a lot of things because I like to laugh. I like to feel good. And when you're laughing, you feel good. You can't feel bad and laugh at the same time. Oh, okay. So, okay, I don't take life seriously. I can work with that. Then I started thinking about, okay, what could I use as an example to give you about my sense of humor? Well, that was a problem because a lot of my sense of humor is up here in my head. And what goes up in my head, you really don't want to hear. In fact, it would definitely violate a lot of the TM Hayes Code to tell you what goes on in my head. Oh, I wanted to tell you a story about when I was working with teenagers, and I got to tell you, it just sounded way too creepy, so I couldn't tell you about that. Then I thought about my issue with BMWs. I've got a real issue with BMWs, which is a speech all by itself. But I told my daughter yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was going to talk about my BMW problem. And she said to me, well, that's not an example of your sense of humor. She said, that's more an example of how you don't take things seriously. So now I'm back to square one. Last night and this morning, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to talk about? Excuse me, up there. Oops. So I started thinking, somebody's got their speaker on. If they could just please mute. Thank you. Renee. Anytime would be fine. I get distracted very easily. My sense of humor is appreciating absurdity and outrageous. If something is outrageously absurd, then that you'll definitely get a laugh out of me on that one. I really appreciate oddness, absurdity. I talking to her yesterday morning, she said to me, well, she said, what was the last thing you laughed at? Oh, okay, I can work with that. I went home and there is something that I laugh at. In fact, I will laugh a lot at it. And that is the thought that I am going to win the $1 billion lottery. Okay, yeah, I know. It's funny. It's absolutely absurd. However, I believe I'm going to win the lottery, and I believe that it will be the $1 billion pot. Why do I believe that? Because one day I'm thinking to myself, you know, a couple of $100 million would be really cool. And I hear back here, $1 billion. Oh, yes, those are my guides. They talk to me. Yes, they do. I always tell my grandkids, I always listen to the voices in my head. My grandson always says to me, don't tell people that because they'll think something about you. But I do. I listen to the voices in my head, and that voice said $1 billion. So now I've been working on winning the $1 billion. This has been an interesting process for me because each time as the pot, now we're working on the third pot here. So I think Monday will be $1 billion. But each time the pot gets up to about $1 billion, I do something that interferes with my belief system. Did it again. So I think this time I really have it. But I got to tell you, when I start thinking about winning $1 billion, I laugh. I laugh because it's an outrageous idea. It's an outrageous amount. And the fact that I believe it to be true, is even more outrageous. So do I need to win? No, I don't need to win. To me, the whole objective is to feel good. And when I think about it, I laugh and I feel good. My goal in life is to feel good. And if thinking about winning $1 billion helps me do that, then that's what I'll do. Thank you.